Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is our 17th lecture of Mechanics 2. Here we will discuss the conservation of angular momentum. Initially, we will discuss the angular momentum of a point object. Uh, for this purpose, we will consider a point of mass m over here, which is positioned at a position vector r from this pivot point O, and this particle of mass m is having a linear momentum p directed along this vector, and this p can be expressed as product of mass and velocity. If we extend this radius vector in this way, then the angle of this p vector with this horizontal axis is phi. If this is angle phi, then we can resolve this vector into its rectangular component, and this vertical component will be marked as mb sine of phi, and this horizontal component will be marked as mb cos of phi. If this is angle phi and this is vector r, then this angle will also be phi, and this part, this side of this triangle will be r sine of phi and will be taken as moment r, and it is the perpendicular distance between the axis of rotation which is passing through this pivot point O and the line of action of force. As we know that P is related with force through a time derivative. It means that we can express summation F equal to dP over dt. If we take a cross product of radius vector with this equation, then we can have the new form of this equation as r cross summation f equals r cross dp over dt, and this r cross dp over dt can be taken as summation tau. This is the total turning effect caused by the net force F being applied at an angle phi with this radius vector r. Now, this expression can have another term dr over dt cross p on the right hand side. As we know that dr over dt will give velocity vector v, and v cross p or v cross mb will be equal to null vector. So We can add zero vector or null vector on this side without influencing the mathematical values of the equation on either side. So the new form of the expression will be equal to this. Summation tau will be equal to r cross dp over dt plus dr over dt cross p, and this can be expressed in compact form as summation tau is equal to d into r cross p over dt. R cross p is another entity which can be equated to angular momentum L. So we will say that summation tau will become equal to dl over dt. Summation tau is equal to dl over dt. From this expression, we can see that if net torque on a particle is zero, dl over dt will be equal to zero. This is indicating that if net torque on a particle is of zero magnitude, then the angular momentum of the particle will be conserved. There will be no change with respect to time in the value of angular momentum. How the direction of angular momentum L can be found out by taking the cross product of two vectors r and p. As we know that this is an r vector, its equal vector may be drawn over here, and this will be the common point at which the tails of both the vectors r vector and p vector are joining. Then to find out the cross product r cross p, we will have to place our right hand with straight fingers on the vector r, and we will curl the fingers of right hand into the direction of second vector, which is the vector p. The thumb, erect thumb, will be pointing the direction of the angular momentum, and this will be also the direction of the axis of rotation, which is passing through this pivot point O. So one thing to be noted here, that if the rotation is counterclockwise, angular momentum will be along positive z-axis. If this is z-axis, as per our assumption, this is the axis of rotation which is passing through pivot point O. And if the rotation about the axis of rotation or about the pivot point is in clockwise direction, then the angular momentum uh, will be directed in negative z-axis. And from this equation, we can see that the direction of tau is same as that of the direction of angular momentum. Here, if L is equal to L cross P, means L is being replaced by R, then P will become equal to MB, and if the angle is equal to 90 degree, then L can be written as MBL. We use uh, the knowledge of our previous discussion uh, for this extended study of the rotational motion of a rigid object. Here we will have to find the total angular momentum of the rigid object, which is rotating with angular speed omega about the pivot point O. When we take a particle within the body of the rigid object at this position, the mass of the particle is mi. Whenever the object is rotating about pivot point O, the particle of mass mi will be circulating about the same point, pivot point O. In that case, we can see that L is equal to MBL. Here, small l is replaced by R. We can say that Li will be equal to Mi Vi Ri, and Vi will be equal to Ri omega. So Li will become equal to Mi Ri square omega. This is the magnitude of angular momentum of this single particle taken on the body of the rigid object having mass mi. Its tangential velocity is vi, which is expressed as product of ri and omega. Omega is angular speed, and here we can see the counterclockwise rotation of the rigid object. Here we can see Li is equal to mi vi ri equal to mi ri square omega, and the same magnitude of the angular momentum for this ith particle taken on the body of the rigid object is being expressed as mi ri square omega. As we see that mi ri square is equal to moment of inertia, which is represented by capital letter I. So Li will become equal to I omega. If L is in vector form, then omega will also be in vector form, and I is a scalar quantity. So L will be equal to I omega. Here I is the moment of inertia of the body about symmetry axis. The axis of rotation is symmetry axis. If the axis of rotation is not a symmetry axis, means it is not passing through the center of mass of the rigid body, then we will have to apply the parallel axis theorem to calculate the angular momentum of the rigid body, and there will be two terms. One will be the orbital angular momentum, the other will be the spin angular momentum. But here in this case, we say that our axis is a symmetry axis, then I will be representing the moment of inertia about symmetry axis, and omega is the angular velocity of the body. Capital L with arrowhead is representing the angular momentum of the rigid body rotating around the symmetry axis. Extending the previous concept in which the torque and angular momentum were related, we can say that summation tau is equal to dl over dt. Summation tau is net external torque on the system, and dl over dt is time derivative of angular momentum, rate of change of total angular momentum of the rigid object. So we can say that if summation f is equal to dp over dt in translational motion, then in angular motion we are having an equivalent equation, summation tau equal to dl over dt, which is representing that if the net torque acting on a rigid object is zero, then the angular momentum of the rigid object will be conserved, will be constant. And this statement will refer to law of conservation of angular momentum. For direction of angular momentum, we see this expression L is equal to I omega. Here I should be without arrowhead, omega should be with arrowhead. So omega is a vector quantity, I is a scalar quantity. So L will be equal to I omega, and whenever the object is rotating in counterclockwise mode, the omega will be along the positive z-axis, which is the axis of rotation of the rigid object, and at the same time, the angular momentum L will also be directed along the positive z-axis. Means both vectors, angular velocity and angular momentum, will be directed along the positive z-axis whenever the object is rotating in a counterclockwise mode, and the axis is a symmetry axis. Axis of rotation is a symmetry axis. In second case, if there is a clockwise rotation in the rigid object about the axis of rotation, then ultimately omega and L, angular velocity and angular momentum, will again be parallel but in the direction of negative z-axis. This is found with the help of right hand rule. Summing up all our previous discussion, we can say that torque can be expressed as cross product of two vectors. One is the position vector R, other is the net force vector F. So angular momentum can be defined in terms of the translational or linear momentum as L is equal to R cross P. Here P is linear or translational momentum and L is angular momentum, and P being equal to mv, we can have this side equal to R cross mv. Now taking time derivative of this equation on both sides, we can have dl over dt equal to d over dt into R cross mv, and dr over dt cross mv plus r cross m dv over dt. This will become equal to v cross mv plus r cross ma, and as v cross v will become equal to a cross a, which is a null vector. So this term will vanish and we will be left with the second term r cross ma, which is r cross f. So hold this side dl over dt, which is also tau, will become equal to r cross f, as we know that r cross f is an expression for torque, where torque will be a vector quantity. So r cross f gives torque, and this torque will be equal to dl over dt, and we say that tau is equal to dl over dt. Previously, we have seen that L is equal to I omega. On this assumption, we say that moment of inertia and angular momentum can be related through this expression. Now, seeing this equation for a rigid object, we can claim that whenever the net torque acting on a rigid object becomes zero, then the angular momentum of that rigid object becomes conserved. This is the conservation concept of angular momentum. Concept of conservation of angular momentum. Thanks.